I want to do a video today about how to eat a vegan, low-fat, high-carb lifestyle while you're travelling. As you know, I've been travelling Australia since September, so it's May now, so it's been about 9 months, and throughout that whole time I've been able to eat vegan, predominantly fruit, and it's been really easy. So I've just got a couple of little tips to share with you today, so that if you're travelling, it just makes it a little bit easier for you. Before I kind of came to Australia, I was a little bit apprehensive because you get so used to like your home comforts, like having my own blender and being able to buy bulk boxes of bananas and fruits and having them, you know, having my car to drive them around to get them from the market back to my house. And I was a little bit worried, thinking, oh, you know, like, how am I going to do it? Is it going to be really difficult? Like, how am I going to be able to stay on track? So when I first got here, I just found a couple of ways just to make it really easy. So I've got a couple of little things that I carry around in my rucksack to make it easier. So the first one, number one, would be a bowl. So I bought this bowl for about $3 maybe, but I just think it's perfect just to have like your fruit in it. And a lot of the hostels that I went in, you had to pay like a deposit for a cutlery, and it's like, just take a bowl, take your own bowl. So yeah, I've used this for 9 months and it's huge actually. It is really, really big. Put loads of big salads in there, put pasta in there, you can put rice in there, you can put fruit in there. So that's number one tip. The second tip would be a knife. Like, it's a little bit, you can see it's a little bit beat up. I've used it quite a lot. So that's perfect as well. So if you're out and about, you've always got a knife there. Because I know like in hostels as well, sometimes they haven't got knives, and sometimes even if they have, they're not very sharp. They're terrible for cutting fruit. They are, and a lot of the times, I'll come on to this in the next thing, but a lot of the times they've just been used to like slice meat, and I don't want to be touching knives and things that have been on meat, and then they're just left there, they're not clean. So at least you know when you've got your own knife, and this was like $5 maybe, it's not very expensive, and you know you've always got a knife handy. But one tip is make sure if you're going on a flight that it's in your checked luggage, because they'll not let you onto a plane with a knife for obvious reasons. Cutlery, like this one is like, the fork's missing actually, it's in my bowl. Yeah, this is like $7 or $8 maybe, but it's BPA free plastic. You can take it around anywhere with you, so if you're out and about, you've always got a cutlery set, so you're not having to reuse the plastic ones, which is just a big waste. So if you've got this one, then that's perfect. This is probably like the biggest, easiest way for you to travel and stay on this lifestyle, is with, wait for it, a mini blender. The amount of looks I got from other backpackers when I whipped this out of my case, they were like, you brought your own blender, or I'd be in the kitchen in the morning like making my banana smoothie, like, and what I would do with it is make 2 or 3 lots. So put bananas in, make one, 'cause it's not very big, make one lot, put them in, put it into my like a water bottle to carry around for the day. Make 2 or 3 of those. But yeah, like the looks I got, people were just like, what, you brought a blender, like what are you doing, like that's crazy, like how do you fit it in your bag? And for me, even though I did come with a lot of stuff, I'm going to do a video about what to actually take travelling, as in like things in your backpack other than food items, like kitchen items. Yeah, so people were just like, how have you even fit that in your bag? And like for me, I'd rather have this than a pair of shoes. That's probably like the size of a pair of heels that maybe some people would bring. I'd rather have that because I'm going to use it every day. And this I picked up from, I think it was from like the reject shop, and it was only like $20, 25 Australian dollars, which is pretty, I think it's really good. It's like, it's obviously not as powerful as like a Vitamix or a Fruity blender or just a conventional one, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's lasted me 8 months. Luckily, where I am now, the lady that I live with has a Fruity blender, which is perfect. So this is a little bit redundant at the moment. But yeah, it's just a great tip. And what else? Yeah, like I would get, this is like another major tip if you're travelling. Don't give a shit what people think. Like, the amount of looks I got when I would just be, like I say, like when I was in the kitchen, like, oh, where, you know, is this the hostel's? I'm like, no, it's mine. And they'd just be like, you're crazy, like why are you bringing the blender around? And so I just explained that I was vegan and that high carb, and that's just what I enjoyed eating. And yeah, I mean, you do get a lot of the same questions, but I like it. It's explaining to people and spreading the message around, and like what can be bad about that? And what else? Yeah, people are just gonna, because they're gonna be cooking their like meat, steak, spaghetti bolognese, and for me, I actually think it's helped because it's given me like an intensified reaction almost. So like if I'm just at home with friends, then I'm not really used to getting the questions, but because I've been and met so many different people that don't really know you and are going to ask you questions, it's like giving me really good practice so that when these questions do come up like in my daily life, then it's given me like a bit more, I don't know what the word is, like strength in what I believe in, and that's why I want to do it. So yeah, I think travelling's been really good for that. And yeah, you just have to make the decision that this is what you want to do. Like anything in life is easy if you make the decision to do it. Like, for example, I don't have a car here, I just have a bike, and at first I was like, oh, well, how am I going to get fruit? How am I going to get the big boxes of fruit? How am I going to get them to ripen? Like, what am I going to do? But you just have to think, well, make do the best of your situation. So for me at the moment, because I'm in Adelaide, I basically I walk up to the fruit shop, I get all my fruit, like a couple of boxes of bananas, and then just get a taxi back. And as much as I don't want to spend money on taxis because I do have a bike, I can't physically get them on my bike. And that's kind of the best of the situation that I'm in. You just have to make the best of whatever situation you're in. Other places also have fruit deliveries, like the place where I stayed in Bondi and around Sydney, they have I think it's a website it's called Doorstep Organics. I'll put a link below this video, and they basically deliver organic fruit boxes, and they are fantastic. It's really, really good price. They were really cheap, really good value for money, and then they deliver them to you. So if you're in a hostel, then and you're in Sydney, ring them and they'll deliver them to your hostel, and just chuck them under your bed. Like, you have to decide that you want to do this lifestyle, and you will find ways to make it work. And if all else fails, you can always do like the banana gill raw till 4 kind of thing. So you're just eating rice on an evening, which I did quite a lot and I'm still doing. And that's really easy. You can just cook your rice up, and yeah, it's really easy. And that's the thing, a lot of the questions that I got when I was making my food on an evening in the hostels, oh, isn't being vegan really difficult? Is it not really expensive? And it's really, really not. It's the most easy thing in the world to do. Like, I remember when I had the eating disorder, I'd be so obsessed about the meals that I was going to eat that evening. I'd be planning them and thinking how many calories, like stressing about it. But then now, it's just so easy. You either have like fruit smoothie, you can either have, and it's really simple meals, just like plain potatoes with like lemon juice, and it's just really, really easy. And you see all these people like with all these ingredients, and they're, you know, spending all their nights in the bloody kitchen, and you're like, you don't need to be doing that. It's just so much easier and simpler just to get potatoes or banana smoothie, or it's as easy as you want to make it, basically. Also, one other tip would be, when you're travelling around, you do meet different people, and yeah, they're going to want to go out and have meals because they are travelling, that's what they want to do. So don't feel like you can't go out with them. Either order something that's vegan, or eat before you go out. That's what I did a lot. I would say, yeah, I'll come out like a couple of times. We all went to like a pizza place. Before, I would just have a smoothie and go with them, and then you're just not tempted to eat the crap and all the other stuff. I mean, like on another night we went to have sushi because they knew that I could eat vegan sushi, so yeah, we went to a sushi place. Maybe introduce it and say, this is what I would normally eat. Try a little bit. Like, there's a couple of times that I had made like big salads, like zucchini noodles. I made my own sauce, and a few people be like, oh, that looks really interesting, like, what is it? I'm like, oh, we'll try it. So just share it. Try not to be so, like, not embarrassed, but shy about it. Just be like, fuck it, that's what you're eating, and if people want to try it, then just let them ask questions, because questions are good. Questions mean that people are wanting to know, and they might, you know, not want to become vegan. They might never become vegan. It puts that seed in their head, and they might think of, oh, you know, remember that girl, blah, blah, blah. Like a few people that I've met, I'm just the crazy vegan, and that's something I don't mind. Like, I'm happy with that, and yeah, it just spreads the message a little bit. This is what you've got to remember. Sometimes you might be the first vegan this person comes across, so try not to be like defensive or telling them that they should do it. Just be relaxed about it. Just if they ask questions, just, you know, the old protein question, just answer it and talk to people about it. Don't be so... Because remember, at first I was a little bit kind of, this is what I'm eating, just like, it's none of your business. And I think that came from the bulimia side of it, that I would become defensive about what I was eating. So when I started eating this way, I was a little bit similar, but the more you do it and the more kind of proper calories you get into your brain, you don't feel like it. You just remember that you're kind of like an ambassador for the vegan movement. And I went on trips like to Whitsunday Islands and Fraser Island, Magnetic Island. So I was places where I couldn't, you know, go to fruit shops all the time and to get a taxi back with a big load of bananas. You just have to make do. So for those times, I would take dates, dried bananas, dried mangoes, and just kind of make the best of the situation. Like, if they had rice, I would just eat the rice, and orange juice, just drink the orange juice. Like, just make the best of whatever situation you're in. Don't beat yourself up. And I've done that so many times that you're like, oh my God, I don't know, even if it's a vegan food, you kind of beat yourself up about it. But it's just one meal that's maybe a little higher in fat or a little higher in salt than usual is not the end of the world. It's just something you're doing in that moment that's the best that you can do. So yeah, just don't beat yourself up about it and just do the best that you can, and don't see it as a black and white, perfect and imperfect eating. It's just food at the end of the day, and it's just try and, like I keep saying, just do the best that you can at the time, and don't let it spoil your experience of travelling. Like, travelling is one of the best things I think you can ever do, and if you're like constantly worrying about the food that you're going to eat and whether it's organic or it's just going to ruin your experience. So just do the best that you can do at the time. Yeah, I think that's it for today then. So I will see you next video. I hope this helped, and yeah, I will see you next video.